Sunday, everybody. So I'm here just very quickly to try and explain 5 reasons why conventional and fad diets do not work long term and why navigating with Lumen is proving incredibly successful for thousands of people. So the 5 main reasons that I've identified as to why other diets, and I pretty much have done many of them, from Slimmer's World to low fat to food combining to keto, on and off throughout my life, have it until finding Lumen, even Noom. And the 5 reasons that I've identified that I think are key are as follows. Firstly, calorie deficit based only. Often a lot of these diets are just focused on calories. And it is true to say that calories are the measurements of energy. However, calories are not equal. I'm not going to go into the massive detail on that. But different ones of our macronutrients contain different calories. But also, those different macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs, are there for different things. And so, protein is not an energy specific fuel type. It's actually for repairing muscle, for building muscle, for brain, for tissue health, all that kind of thing. So that's what that is there for predominantly. Fats and carbs are our energy supply. And for us to keep a stable weight, our body needs both of them and needs to be able to break both of them down to use for energy. But these low calorie diets just say, here, have 1200 calories or have 1400 calories. That's going to be the way that you lose weight. Now, you might lose it short term, but actually you're not getting the balance of all the different nutrients that you need by just focusing on calories. There's a whole subject topic in that. That's number 1. Number 2, they're often one-dimensional, focusing on one aspect. So they might be low carb, or they might be no carb, or they might be high carb and low fat. They may be lots of fasting on some days, not fasting on other days, different lengths of fasts, fasting without any feedback whatsoever on the impact on your metabolism. And of course, calorie deficit for most people will help them lose weight, whether that's done over a daily reduction or whether that's done over a weekly reduction. But the reality is, those type of lifestyles are not sustainable in the long term. And the third reason is they're not sustainable often beyond the goal reached. And during the time on the diet, the thing is, some of those metabolic processes that we have are weakened or undermined by the approach that we might be taking with a given diet. All very helpful for maybe losing the weight in the initial stages, but long term not giving us a sustainable lifestyle to embrace. So that's the third reason. The fourth reason is they do not generally embrace a holistic approach to all the different aspects that affect metabolism. So focusing on a calorie deficit or focusing on low fat or being low carb, all of that impacts your metabolism. But the reality is, it is not just about calories in and calories out. It's about how our gut microbiome is, how healthy that is, whether our stress, our sleep, our hormones are out of balance. All these different things affect metabolism. Our thyroid, our liver function, everything affects how our metabolism works. And so embracing one of these kind of one-dimensional diets focuses on the nutrition side and helps that initial weight loss potentially for some people, although some people don't experience weight loss and then ask the question, what's going on? Well, what's going on is there are lots of factors at play. So not embracing that holistic approach is another reason why a lot of these diets, they work in the moment, but they do not keep you in a sustainable pattern where you've rewired your metabolism and where you've learned how to have a lifestyle where you eat well, you don't feel deprived, and you see incredible health. And the final reason why they don't work is actually they often create a mindset of deprivation. So you feel as though you're depriving yourself of certain foods to get the results. The deprivation equals the results. So that's probably why I've yo-yo dieted most of my life. Always struggled with my weight from when I was a teenager. Never been this slim since I was 12, and sustained this for over 12 months. It's over 12 months since I reached my healthy BMI, and I'm actually a bit lighter now than I was when I reached that point last June, and still maintain a great place. So why does Lumen navigate you differently, and why is it not a diet? Well, number one, it doesn't actually control anything that you eat, but what it's doing is it's giving you feedback on your bespoke, your unique metabolism. And the nutrition plan that you get with Lumen, unlike other diets, is a macro-based nutrition plan based on your unique makeup. How tall you are, how old you are, how heavy you are at this moment in time, what your goals are. All those different aspects are all taken into consideration when your nutrition plan is constructed. And that nutrition plan is also responding daily in relation to what your body is actually doing. So if you're waking up every day burning fat, you're going to get more carbs added into your plan. If you're not waking up burning fat, then you're going to have carbs reduced in those early stages to help manipulate the macronutrients of fats and carbs to get you stronger at burning fat. And then as you get better at burning fat, there's more carbs to help you get better at burning carbs. And so what happens over time is that your metabolism then becomes flexible at using both fuel sources, and that is the optimal place to be to keep a healthy weight. So that's the nutrition plan. That's number one. Number two, the macro ratio assigned to a person enables that metabolism to improve at utilizing fats and carbs, and it incorporates enough protein to keep you feeling full longer and to keep all those important metabolic processes taking place. It helps to speed up your metabolism. The protein amounts with the Lumen navigated plan are a lot higher than on any other kind of diet. I say diet in inverted commas. So, number three, the process. The process that Lumen and the journey that it takes you on teaches you so much about nutrition. What is good, what is bad, what's okay, how and when to eat your macronutrients, and why you eat them at certain times of day. Why it's better to eat carbs earlier in the day, because you're then going to use them and you're more likely to use them as fuel. You're not going to store them as fat. They're not going to get converted to fat. And as you go along the journey, you get those bite-sized biology lessons to help you understand how your metabolism works. Plus, you're tracking all the time stuff like sleep and stress and activity levels, and seeing how different stimuli affects your metabolism and affects its efficiency. So you begin to learn what works for you and how you can work with a device to navigate you. Okay, the fourth thing is the device helps you to learn what helps you to burn fat, and that is what we all want ultimately. We want to be in a place where we're burning fat at the right time, and so Lumen helps you navigate towards that place. It orientates your metabolism to burn fat at the right times if you follow through on the process. So basically, when you're sleeping, it's good to burn fat. When you're resting, it's good to be burning fat. They're both activities. I say activities, they're not really very active, sleeping and resting, but actually they are things that only require that slow burn fuel. So from a perspective of getting yourself in that place of burning fat, you begin to learn how you're best positioned. And even in the space of intermittent fasting. So whilst I mention intermittent fasting as one of the fad diets, actually intermittent fasting is really good, but it needs to be intermittent fasting that relates uniquely to your metabolism. So you might not work well with a 20-hour fast or a 16-hour fast. And I certainly discovered on my journey that my best fasting length was around 12 to 13 hours. But some people do really well on 16 and some people do really well on 20. But then they have to fit their macronutrients into a shorter eating window. But what I'd like to kind of emphasize is that one size does not fit all. And so Lumen really helps you experiment to find your key pieces in the jigsaw to help you lose weight. And then finally, and probably one of the most significant things that Lumen does that I don't know any other program or diet or plan ever gives you. At the end, if your goal has been weight loss, you have a new journey to take. Yep, you have a new track to choose. You can jump onto metabolic health, which will just help you with your overall cellular health and your overall energy levels, keeping that metabolic flexibility, ensuring that you stay healthy. Or you can jump onto the fitness performance track, which actually has 3 separate goals. And those goals are increase muscle mass, improve body composition, and improve endurance. So you will then get a plan that is bespoke to your goals, which means you aren't left counting calories, which aren't equal anyway. You've learned what your body needs to function well. You've got a new accountability framework, and now you've got a new goal so that you can continue to have great energy to work out, to fast still, but not fasts that are wrong for your makeup, your uniqueness. And meanwhile, your metabolism will continue to improve flexibility. It will continue to improve burning fats, burning carbs, as you continue on that journey of macronutrient manipulation. Now, some people say, oh yeah, well, we know about doing that carb cycling thing. Well, that's true. Carb cycling is great. But if you don't know how your body is responding in a given moment in time, and even for me this week, my metabolism has done some different things, and my body battery has done some different things. And we can never fully predict what is going on. And what's so useful about the device is it gives you feedback. It gives you feedback on what you're doing, as does technology like the Garmin, which I use quite a lot. It gives you feedback. And what I want to say what are we now? July the 3rd, 2022, is that I remain in my range between 67 and 68.5 kilos, having reached this point at approximately September last year was the point that I actually reached 67.5 kilos. And I've had a whole year, coming up for a whole year, in a place where I eat way more than I did this time last year. I have a larger allocation of macronutrients. I know that if my activity level changes like it did when I had COVID, all I do is change my activity level in the app. And so, here to say, don't go with a fad diet. Don't go with one of the short-term fixes, because although you might lose it in the short term, it is not going to give you sustainable tools for you to improve your metabolic health and for you to achieve long-term, sustained, healthy weight, healthy metabolism, energized for whatever activities you want to do. They just do not look after you in the same way. And this process works. And I can't overemphasize that. You'll have to go to my website and have a little look at my story, www.livewellandfree.co.uk. I'm still developing that site. There's going to be loads of tools and resources on there for people, Lumen users and non-Lumen users, that will help you on your journey. But I would say Lumen is a game changer in the metabolic health field, and it is going to be technology that is going to be invading the health spheres, because it has the potential to really get people into a place of becoming healthy and staying healthy, whatever their aims are around their health and well-being. Have a great Sunday.